Here it is, part 2 of the V8 S10 build. I took the whole car outside. I sprayed some cleaner on it, got it all cleaned up, got all the grease and grime pretty much off of it. And I'm going to take a wire wheel and clean the rest of the metal up, and then just, rattle can it to make it look pretty for the time being. It ain't gonna hold up, but I'm okay with that. So that's the cleaned portion. And then I got to pull the motor from the one back here. So this is what I got to pull the motor out of. And I already welded in the exhaust like a dummy. So now I got to remove the headers, undo the motor mounts, undo the transmission mount, take off the drive shaft, and yank. Everything is full of fluid, so I'm 99% sure that the whole rear end is going to be pouring out with transmission fluid. But that's neither here nor there. And then I already have the motor mounts for the frame and the motor mounts for the motor for the S10, so I can test fit the V8 inside the S10 to see if my Moroso oil pan, let's see if you can see that down there, will fit inside the frame or not. If not, I'm going to have to notch the frame a little bit. So I got these specific motor mounts for V8 S10. And I don't know if you can see it when I do that, but I put it flat. Yeah, there's they are probably a 1/4 inch, 1/16 of an inch out, warped from, I'm guessing, the welding. It warped it. Let's see if the other one's the same way. That one looks straight. I don't see no issues with that one. Yeah, that one's perfectly fine. But this other one, it's really, really out. So I'm going to still try to mock it up. Maybe I can re-bend it back into shape, see what happens. Doing my first test fit, so to make sure I have all the room I can, I took out the wiring harness, the heater core, hoses, this, I don't plan on running AC, I always have my windows down, the evaporator I think it's called. So I am going to go ahead and see if I can get it in the hole. So it looks like one of my fitment issues is actually my oil pan. As much as I paid for that darn thing, really hoping to keep it, I'm taking it off. I ain't gonna chance it. It don't fit. I can't notch it. So, okay, so yeah, taking it off. So when I put the engine in to do some test fitting, the oil pan was my problem. I had to convert back over to a factory oil pan, go back to a factory oil pump, but high volume. I took out the blower, all that extra plastic. It just took up everything. I'm hoping I can find maybe a S10 without factory AC to see if I can find something that might be smaller to fit in there. I don't know. From there, I got everything painted. It's ready to go. So until I can figure out what's going on over there, I think I'm just going to set the motor in, get it bolted down, and let it sit till I can figure something out. So I'm still in the fitment stage, and I'm seeing my distributor is just way too big. I'm gonna have to pull that completely out, try a different one in it. I pulled the AC completely out, AC blower completely out, and I'm gonna get I already ordered it, a non-AC blower to fit back there. And you can see on my motor mounts that I'm still pushed pretty far back, so I have probably an inch I can come forward. My drive shaft we test fit yesterday, and the drive shaft is about 3 inches too small. And then here, we're going to have to take the steering out, and I'm thinking this brake line down here has been replaced. And yeah, I think that's going to hit also. So there's a few things that I really got to work around. But I'm still going to try to test fit the headers and see where we go. We're using Hedman. The only ones I can find that actually have square port. You can see clearly square port. Okay, whatever. So working on the driver's side header, trying to make the room, have to take the steering column, steering thingy off here. So that bolt easy to get to. So I pull off all this stuff back here, and there's no connection. So I look further back in, and it looks like it goes into the firewall. So from there, I could go inside the truck. I pull off the plastic, and there's yet another boot. Now you pull this boot down, and all it is like little plastic clips. You pull that off, and the actual key is right about there. Not key, but like 14mm socket is right there. So I assumed both connection points were under the hood, and I was wrong. The other connection point is inside the cab. During the fitment process, we put the transmission drive shaft up in place, and we found out it was about 3 inches too short. So, as you can see over here, this is the original drive shaft. It has a little bit of pot marks everywhere and been repainted, rebalanced. However, the new add-on piece has been completely cut out and a new piece welded in, 3 inches longer. That should fit our Turbo 350 without any issues now. One more piece down. One of the things I noticed is the entire braking is in my way. When I did a measurement on how much room I need, including the flange, I'm at 7.5, give or take. 7. Get a high spot. Let's say 7 1/4. So if I do 7 1/4 on the flange, there we go. You'll see basically my entire braking I'm going to have to reroute. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to pull my booster off my entire ABS system completely out and reroute it with a smaller booster if I can, and change the way it's laid out. So for now, I'm gonna rip it all out. However, that will be in one of the upcoming videos, because in part 3 we're going to be putting the radiator inside the core support. So this is going to be the end of part 2.